Hey, ignore that. Ignore that.
We are definitely not being too lazy to edit that.
No, you.
That is definitely
What?
not what's occurring.
Well, the problem with that is it's a combination of you being too lazy and YouTube being too lazy, but also me being too lazy to learn the editing software that I would use, because YouTube just can't load changes for some reason.
Yeah, so it's a combination of a series of nothing being asked.
It's laziness, is what it is.
In something that was there for a split second, and we have now extended it to the first 30 seconds of the video.
However, if it does affect your viewing experience, please feel free to not tell us.
Yeah, because at this point, this series is so close to being over, I don't really care.
Oh, it's not over, man.
It's over for me after the scout. We've gone through this. Point is, welcome to Harry's Overclock workshop. It's got his little plaque over the name of the workshop. No. Mitchell, I will literally break your fucking knees.
Right. Yeah. Well, obviously, last week all of them were mine. It's probably. I forgot to check if it was the same.
Have you actually fixed it?
I didn't look. I didn't see. I don't know. It probably will be. They probably will be mine. They will have my name on it.
If you've never changed it, then it's never changed. That's life, baby.
Mhm.
I don't need to explain what this is.
My little finger. No, we do need to address the elephant in the room. No, we don't. I was going to mention the one female viewer. Let's call her out.
Get over it.
Look, that's what the F stands for.
Well, no, one interesting thing is because I was rummaging through our statistics, and we do have a viewer or some viewers that just like probably say a video that are over the age of 65.
Oh my god!
And to those people, you are true greenbeards.
Greybeards.
Fuck,
you
greybeards.
asshole.
I Freudian slip. Let's not even.
It was a slip up for sure.
Let's start this fucking thing. I've had enough. I'm not drunk, if anyone was wondering.
Fuck! I need to let the cat out. Fuck. Wait. I'll get to one of you. You get to yours. I guess.
Or we could start again.
No, that was fine. It was funny. Right, look at this. See, look, it does say my name, but this one.
Yeah, but this one is.
This
yours.
one's mine.
I
This
don't
is
take
my
credit for this.
clean overclock for the M1000 for twang. So right, so this is a joke, by the way, but the thing is, the M1000 doesn't just have an overclock that increases base damage, and it just should. It's really like. I feel like I haven't really done this before, where it's very base patchwork for something that the weapon doesn't really... Very based for the weapon. Just like, patching a hole. But it really doesn't have this. And it super cooling chamber sucks ass, and that's only for focus shots anyway. So, just give us a little bit more, man. Like, it's like the anti-hipster. What's the issue?
Yeah, well,
is the issue the second part?
no. The issue is I don't give a shit about it. But like the issue is that hipster is just so overwhelmingly good that like you're gonna be probably gaining more damage by using hipster anyway, right? Like, which is the issue that you're always gonna run up against. Well, do you think this is a big enough increase of damage of normal shots that
I think so. I think it would work where you can body shot grunts with this with focus shots. I think that's the point. I don't know if you can. I don't know. Either way, it's essentially just addressing the issue of not having a base damage increase, direct damage, for an overclock. So you can take, ammo and bonus damage, and this probably would, as it stands, this wouldn't compete with hipster anyway. So
Everything
we don't need to worry about that.
Hipster.
We don't need to worry about that. No, nothing competes with hipster.
That is true, actually.
That's the point. Yeah. Hipster is kind of like
Hipsters
like my overclocks, but it's a simple overclock, but it's like the stuff that I come up with in the sense that it's probably better. It's stupid. Take the stupid part out, and it's just better than everything else on the weapon.
Hipster's a dictator.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I'll talk about afterwards in the after party. So I do want to know. I don't really want to know actually what you think about the for twang part, but I do think it would be funny if it actually happened in game.
I think they should do it anyway. Like, sometimes with some specific guns, the characters kind of say things.
It could just be something they say.
I only really think of like the flamethrower. I think sometimes the driller just goes like "Wah!" or just some shit like that, like just having a whale of a time. Yeah, sometimes the scout should just go for twang whenever he like does a charge.
For twang.
Like, that should just be a thing.
I don't so much as scout as make this operation possible. That's me getting into the voice. Oh shit, I've lost it by going back to my normal voice. Let's move on.
All right, that was a roller coaster.
To whatever.
All right,
now let's get back on track.
Let your cat out. Course adjustment. This maybe you should actually. Is he gone? Okay. You're not gonna have what it actually does say, but then again, it's not that. This is very scuffed, by the way, this recording. It's not that complicated. Literally, you know how, like, sometimes you miss, and if you're me, or also as shit as me, you will miss a lot.
Should already been let out.
This is basically just turning the bullet towards the enemy that you were going to miss. Which I'm not sure technologically how this is possible, but I actually kind of do. You know how, like, with the crossbow bolts, if something's electric, then it will turn to kind of hit them.
Yeah. Yes.
But like all the time.
It might not be possible because the crossbow can do that because it uses projectiles. The M1000, the projectile isn't real. It's a hit scan weapon. You still see a bullet, but
the bullet's fake. It's not real.
Yeah, it's a fake bullet. Even with the Thunderhead, it's a fake bullet. It's still hit scan. So let's take the basic idea of helping people with shit aim, right? And I like the idea of it's like if your like crosshairs are just on an enemy, when you focus, it moves it towards the weak point. But obviously, it would stop like tracking the weak point once you're focused. So you've got to like quickly release the shot as soon as you focused, because it will basically be once you're fully focused, it's like on the weak point. But then it's like basically tracking a weak point while you're focusing. That's my how I think this would work with the M1000 in the way it works. And it won't, like I said, it won't be overpowered because, especially if the enemy's a quick-moving enemy, once you're fully focused, they'll be able to very quickly move away. So you've got to be quick on it. You've got to release the shot as soon as you're focused. Otherwise, you won't.
I think it's just something interesting. Like generally, I mean, some things tackle recoil, but like nothing inherently helps you with accuracy most of the time. Like it's just kind of.
No, I don't think anything does really.
Other than maybe that crossbow thing, but even that is like 50% that, 50% increased damage against electric.
Yeah, so, magnetic shafts is like the it's really the only homing thing. It's like you can add on because obviously the smart rifle's just the smart rifle, but nothing else has a mechanic like that you can choose to have. AI stability engine, it increases accuracy, doesn't actually help you hit things. Doesn't help your aim. Got shit aim, use this. And yeah, I think what I suggested is it's not the same as what this is, but I think it's what it would need to be to work because it doesn't use projectiles.
I mean, if it can't be done, then it can't be done.
No.
Just or maybe I don't know, like ricochet. Maybe that's often a thing as well. Like if it's like magic bullets, it's just if you miss and hit the floor, it will just kind of then actually hit the target. Something like that. Just because, the M1000 as it stands is a pretty good weapon, but it's under the caveat that you do have to be accurate with it.
Pardon me.
It's kind of the thing that all of them are, but I don't know, it makes it one of my lesser picks out of the lot, even though it's better than the GK2. Even though it's better than GK2, I still prefer the GK2 because I can actually like hit the shots and do the damage. But with shit aim, you're just gonna deal less damage with the M1000. So yeah, basically, I just wanted to clean that kind of just helped you aim.
Like, unfortunately, you're at disadvantage because you're not using hipster.
Yeah, but at least you're hitting shots, which if you're using hipster but missing more than half, then you're not really at an advantage, are you?
Basically, all I'm going to say... you know what? I'm going to do this now. Basically, just take a lot of the hipster ammo and put it on the base weapon.
Yeah, I think that's really what they need to do.
There you go.
Because I think it's very obvious that it's, broken. But we'll get into that some other point.
Yeah.
Corrosive release is yours.
Oh, I'm not going to go back, but I didn't notice in the corner if it was your name.
I didn't either. I know who it was.
No. So, corrosive release. I go into these videos knowing certain things that I'm going to say, changes that I'm going to suggest, right? Because I don't... if I sometimes the base idea changes and I'll rework it. But once I've, written it down, it doesn't change until we record, unless I come up with a completely different idea. So this is pretty raw stuff. Yes, it's to do with reloading. I do like the idea of a reload overclocking in M1000, but that's probably something we're going to drop. So upon reloading, it's like a sludge blast charge shot comes out of the enemy if you hit them with a focus shot to the weak point, right? And obviously we've got decreased focus shot, damage bonus, magazine capacity. I think, obviously, penalties are fine considering what we're dealing with, but we need to deal with that. I think parts of this I'm going to get rid of, right? Because as far as a reload overclock for the M1000, I think it's actually a fair one where you would have to either use focus shots to make it happen or hit something at the weak point. I think there's a decent mechanic that would make a reload overclock with the M1000 more, not necessarily more balanced, but more unique. But I've realised that I don't think it's a good idea to have AoE like this that can occur while the enemy's still alive. I think it's stupid that it would launch corrosive fragments out of a living enemy, right?
We're looking at more enemy killed with charge shot will release corrosive bubble.
Yeah, or I think
fragments.
Actually I really filtered it down in my head beforehand where I thought just killing an enemy with a focus shot to the weak point would just make them melt into a puddle of sludge. Yeah. And you probably just have the magazine capacity decrease because I don't think that would really entail I don't think that would necessitate a damage decrease because you want to be able to kill those things and then you just have a sludge puddle here and there, but it wouldn't actually be that solid AoE. That's the thing. I don't know, but I do like that. Either that, or you could have it be so that it is like a sludge pump charge shot if you kill them with a focus shot. But that might be a bit much, Yours is pretty is closer to that though, isn't it? They're not actually that similar. But this I think. Once again, the best version of both, I think, exists between, or at least the best version of my one exists somewhere closer to your one.
I think it's just worth mentioning that generally we wouldn't really recommend a elemental one to something that really has one already, especially ones that don't tend to play it. But it's just that the M1000's electrifying, charge shot fucking sucks. And so really, I think our pitches towards these, like this or the one that I have, are more reworks for that than it is an actual original idea. Just get rid of what it currently has and replace it with one of these or a better version of these is what we're really looking for. But yeah, I mean, I think corrosion is a pretty cool one for the M1000 to have, and especially if it plays along with that kind of stuff, aiming. You have to be really accurate to then be rewarded with AoE.
Yeah, which is why it probably should be not just the enemy. I think just the enemy melting into a puddle of sludge would not have the effectiveness that you would want from this, in terms of AoE. So if you stuck with it being more like a sludge pump child shot, I would probably still cut out the damage penalty, but like an ammo penalty would suit that more than it suits something like super cooling chamber, you know?
Yeah.
Because you could get a lot out of this, but magazine and ammo, I think that works. And then it's like cut out the reload part and cut out the damage penalty, and then you've got a winner. But then yours, I think we can actually move on. Is mine actually? There you go. Now we know.
Yeah.
I don't. Do we need to? Is that really even necessary? Like, could I just delete all of them, all the corners?
Maybe at this point. I think anyone that watches them knows the shindig, and if we explain it.
Actually, no. I'll correct it because they'll be gone after the weapon ones anyway.
Yeah. Sniper Elite. I would do like a theme, but I'm really not sure what Sniper Elite's themes are. Or like, I mean,
they're
like popular games, but they're really not like that prevalent.
Sniper Elite is like it's, I think they're AAA, but it's like in like the B zone,
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Like Dragon Age as well, I think exists in that sort of area.
Sure. I think the fact that I vaguely know what you're on about is that like it's
but
just
it's still
kind
AAA
of like
franchise, but you've not really.
Big
it's not
games,
world famous.
Yeah, big games you've kind of heard of. You may have played a iteration of, but you never really stuck around.
I think
which
Hitman has sort of become. It's turned into this category, because they've released like 3 of them without like drawing much attention to it, but apparently they're amazing. But
Hitman games,
but they're not that. They're not that like marketed. It's weird. Anyway,
because Sniper Elite. I don't actually remember what it is. So you might want to.
There you go.
Okay. Weak point bonus. Because I'm not actually sure there's an actual real one, or at least an overclock that does it.
No, super cooling chamber is like focus shot damage bonus, not weak points.
I just realised this is exactly what I think. If killed by a weak point shot, the target will detonate with a reduced general damage. So basically, it's it's an AOS ability. You aim for a weak point, you do shit ton more damage, and if it kills something, then you also gain AOE. And aim for the balls, because the only fun thing to do on Sniper Elite was to shoot at people's testicles, and no one can fight me on that because it's just true.
Whenever Sniper Elite is about having fun.
Yeah, no, it's about shooting people's testicles.
No, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So basically, it just rewards hitting weak points and will make them detonate.
Yeah.
Probably we're looking at like crossbow explode on death.
That's what I was going to ask about. Yeah, because I think not the problem with that. I don't think. I don't know, because I think the corrosive one's got a bit more reach.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea of launching out corrosive fragments, and also, if you were actually to copy the explosive chemical bolts, that's once again something that can't be used against robots, because it's poison, not corrosion. That's why I picked corrosion, actually.
Right.
At the same time, I think your like sort of singular explosion works better alongside the weak point bonus increase. So I don't think it's actually. I don't think merging the two is actually the best idea. I think
add mine, get rid of Harry's.
No. In this case, I actually believe in mine. No, not as it was written down. The version that he came up with, because I actually think this is fine as it. I wouldn't change much about this. I would just rather have the other one. But it's fine as it stands.
Grow enough balls to contest me like that, Harry.
Fuck you! You overclock shit.
You're going back in the basement, learn a lesson.
No. Well, look, it's mine anyway, so I'm allowed to insult it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Those are the kind of ones I quite like, overclock-wise. So.
Yeah, I do have to question if it's balanced, though. If you get double weak point damage. I mean, I know you have minus 30 damage, which I think is actually like about half. So I think that it does make it. Maybe it is balanced actually. Because I think you actually have less than half base damage with this. So, which basically means you have to hit weak points. It's not even. Yeah. It's not even like It's not even the reward. It's like that's your reward for taking the overclock is the explosion. But you've settled into the fact that nothing's going to happen if you're not hitting weak points.
Yeah, and I think for some characters it's a bit spicy, but with like the Zukovs and Boomstick, you're kind of at liberty to have your primaries be more focused like that. I mean, that's kind of what they really are. The Zukovs
is really what it would be the best option here, obviously, because you're limited by shots and you're limited by the fact that you can't just use this against everything. So Zukovs would be in a good spot alongside this. Anyway. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't know. To pick one, go shit. Pick one of them, right? Like, because we know you're going to add them, right? You don't.
Yeah.
We're going
to add them in
well,
season
actually,
3
I'll have to pick one for the final pitch. And I just, you're probably going to get angry at me about all of that.
What? You don't think I'm not going to intervene?
Well,
you're not getting away with the final pitches without me.
Well, it's based on what we've said. And what we've not agreed upon, I guess, but what it seems like we think is the best of the lot, or the thing that we made the best changes to. Well, that's where I got it all from.
You're running them by me first, and you have no say in that.
Running them by you in the video.
You piece of shit. All right.
Right. So, okay, this is me accepting the fact that Super Cooling Chamber will probably be bad, even if they buff it. So basically what this is actually just a super cooling chamber replacement / rework, right? As in, you could take this, if they were to rework super cooling chamber, turn it into something completely different, this is what I would say they should do. It's the true sniper, it's the 50 cal, it's a 250% weak point damage bonus,
my one.
Only on the focus shots though. Which, okay, I'm gonna have to go back because yours is actually technically not just on the focus shots. You get a double weak point bonus. And it's not even the explosive doesn't even mention focus shots. So let's just pretend that oversight was intentional. So yeah, that's a big weak point damage bonus, obviously. And also I like this part. It zooms further when you focus, and it fears enemies when you start focusing. So you've got time to actually aim.
Oh, so you can just be immune to all damage?
No. And you'll see.
Oh yeah, no, read ahead. Yeah.
Yep, I covered my tracks. Also, obviously, you're not meant to use this for hip fire. You don't even get the crosshairs while you're hip firing. And you have to reload after focus shot because it's not because the original idea for that was like maybe it takes up the entire mag, but obviously no. The other idea was maybe reducing the magazine size down to 2, but you can increase it with upgrades. So I thought it's easier if you just have to reload after it, and obviously you can't back out of focus shot. You have to dedicate to it as well. So this is like even harder in the direction of your one, the explosive one, but obviously without the explosion part in that. There's only really one thing you could do with the M1000, and you have to dedicate yourself to it as well. But it's going to hit like a truck, and maybe ammo is a consideration, like an ammo decrease. I would just need to see it in practice to know if you have too much ammo, because it just a bit. I mean, because I didn't even put because super cooling chamber, it takes longer to focus. I didn't even put that on here either, but I think it's got. I think the penalties make sense, but they might not be enough still. I don't know. They're not being able to back out makes a lot of sense to me, but I don't know if it's enough considering you can get out of it.
I think this is. I think this has gone too far, Harry. Simple idea, but I don't know. The people using this would just be masochists. Just people that fucking hate doing anything. I don't know. It's just. I mean, I think it would work. I think you're probably gonna do a lot. I mean, that amount of damage bonus, while also not really having any real negatives.
Yeah, but you've just implied that not everyone would want to use it. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to make an overclock that's just like the only good pick.
No, people are not going to use it because they would rather do other things. Or it's that, but because it would be miserable to use this, and it like, and also the thing is that's going to be the case, though, Harry, that people won't ever want to use this normally, but then it's going to be like a fucking like the only good pick for like M1000 dreadnought fights. That's it, or like the caretaker.
But yeah, sure. Hyperpilling exists, so can this. Hipster exists, so can this. Right? Fuck you.
Right. The issue is, though, Harry, is hipster and hyperpropellant are fun to use.
I'd love to use this. That's a lie.
No, you wouldn't.
That's a lie. Fucking lie.
Yeah. I mean... The only positive is that it doesn't actually seem to slow you down even more while zooming in.
Exactly. That's the thing, though, right? Because this is better than Supercorner Chamber, right?
Oh wow!
A Supercorner Chamber obviously isn't fun to use, but it already exists. So, as a rework, would you deny this its place if it were to be what replaces Supercorner Chamber?
I mean, Supercorner Chamber is not fun and not good, so at least this is one of those. But I don't know. I personally, I would deny it, because if they're going to rework something, I want them to nail it and not just tick one of those boxes. But I don't know. I don't hate the idea. I just hate the execution.
Well, what part? Because, like, obviously you want a big weak point damage bonus. That's important here.
Being locked into a focus shot is... I mean, are you ever locked into something like that in the game?
No.
And also, what happens if you change weapons?
It will just shoot.
Right. It might do a bit of the old, laser, just kind of consume a fuck ton of ammo, because fuck you.
Yeah, or that. Exactly. Or you just can't switch weapons.
Oh my god. I think you're stuck. I don't know. I could see like most of this working, because really it's not that different from Supercorner Chamber.
Yeah, but the last thing I'll ask is, first of all, do you like the second part, the positive, the fear thing, and the increased zoom?
Yeah.
But do you agree that it necessitates the fact that you can't back out? So that means it probably shouldn't exist, right?
Yeah. It forces probably the main thing I don't like, which, I mean, the increased zoom's fine, but the fear is something. And isn't, shooting in the charge shot, doesn't that fear?
You have to kill an enemy with a weak point from a charge shot.
Which you likely will with this overclock, in all fairness.
Yeah, so that would work. So, actually, alright, so if you cut out the second positive and the third negative, and then decrease the bonus, that might be more like it,
Yeah, and I think the reload after every shot, I think I can see that. Like, that you... I mean, we'll probably look at it more. It just forces one magazine size or something. Actually, not one, because charge shots cost more than one. Two, yeah. It forces two magazine size.
Where you can have it just be forced. That is, that's because that's what I wanted it to be, but I wasn't sure if that's allowed. But yeah, it is. Yeah. So we're doing that.
And realistically, we'll probably get rid of the hip-fire stuff, and you would just have to tag ammo. That is just kind of how it is.
So that would be the Supercorner Chamber rework then.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Everyone, that's it. We fixed Supercorner Chamber. You're welcome. Yeah. Go ship.
Well, isn't Supercorner Chamber, if it actually did what it said, wouldn't it be alright? It would be pretty good.
I think so.
It just doesn't.
Because they programmed it wrong.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. We'll talk about that afterwards. That's hilarious. What they did to that, just in making it, right. Oh look, it's me again.
Yeah.
The tile is unstable.
This is Harry's unstable because it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
How did you spell that like that?
Is that not right?
Well, electromagnetically. In between the C and... Well, there should be two L's, first of all, and an A between the C and the L.
Blame...
Me.
Google.
Because I didn't check it. Blame me.
Blame Google for not autocorrecting it. Maybe it's not a word, so it doesn't actually have a right spelling.
Oh, have you forgotten what this is?
No, but I don't really have much to build up.
So this is silly.
Thank you. All right. I'll just explain this off the bat. First of all, bit of Harry's overclock. But
oh, thanks, man.
Charge shots have infinite pierce, including terrain. That's not true. It's just whatever, like the coil gun is. I don't think it's infinite inherently, but it's like enough.
The coil gun is infinite enemy pierce and can travel through 10 meters of terrain.
Maybe a bit more terrain though, because I think it goes up with meal, right? Like mole.
And it goes up with damage, I think, too. I don't know.
Yeah. So like, just you can pierce through as much terrain as you want, but not infinite because it breaks the game.
Right. So I think I've misinterpreted the second point.
Infinite pierce of enemies. Shots grow exponentially after going through things. It is basically mole.
So it is mole, right? Because me being a clown, right? Well, first of all, let's just get this out of the way. The concept of mole doesn't not suit the M1000 because it's the only other weapon that makes sense for it. Because the M1000 and the coil gun are similar in some ways. In some ways. But, you know, my stupid doo-doo head brain interpreted the second point as the shot, like, physically expands.
Alright, if I don't want to copy Mule, which
No.
What
are you doing?
You could add AoE, and the AoE increases as it pierces through things. I think that would be an interesting way that isn't straight up copying, which I didn't realise I was doing for some reason. Plus -2 fire rate, -10 damage. So basically, if you want to do that much damage, you need to shoot through things. And fire rate means you can't spam it.
Mole is just terrain, though. This gains damage from going through enemies, which is what the mole should do. And did. But they patched it out. Because it was fun. They're not really like that, you know. But still, this is good because it is actually increasing damage based on the number of enemies pierced, which is a mechanic that I really want to see in an overclock, and it suits the M1000 quite a bit. So I'll allow it, and I think. No. Hold on, the negatives are a bit out of whack. So the damage is fine, but -2 fire rate makes no fucking sense, right? Because charge shots don't care about fire rate. If you made it charge slower, there you go. Or maybe
it's that easy.
I don't know if fire rate like includes like a delay after the charge shot as well before you can start firing again. But if it doesn't, then add that as well. There you go. It's that easy.
That easy.
Well, that makes the final pitch easy because I could just cop. No, I don't think I will pick this. Maybe I will. Maybe, I probably will pick this actually, because we couldn't decide which one of the explosive ones to take, and for twang is for twang.
I'm just looking forward to the pages upon pages of my overclocks. I think it's going to be quite funny.
The Warthog is actually mine.
Oh, you've really actually started whittling it down, have you?
Yeah, I've done.
Which I guess
I've done engineer and
put
gunner.
it to the final screen.
Yeah.
So if you don't want your time to be wasted, just leave now. Goodbye.
Next week, the best one, the best episode.
A scout primary we care about.
Yeah. You're not wrong about that, mate. You're not bloody wrong. You're not bloody.
Yeah, like I only ever used. No, I would say it. Even though the M1000 was worse than the GK, I always just used the GK. And even though the Jack is better than GK, I still use them about 50-50. Point is, I don't like the M1000. mainly because I miss, also because I find it awkward to use, and the only best way to use it I find dumb. Hipster is weird.
Yeah. Also, so the supercooling chamber thing, right? So what they did, so supercooling chamber supposedly, if I were to not have it on, okay, so the base focus shot damage bonus is plus 100% because it's 2 shots. Add supercooling chamber, it supposedly adds 125%, right, onto that, but it doesn't. What it actually does is, I think it adds like that percentage on to 100% or something. Like it doesn't actually take the damage. It's the number just isn't right. I think Carl might be able to tell me. So right now, I'm going to need you all to excuse what you're about to see. Not that. That wasn't intentional. We're at the end of the video. It's fine. Where's my mouse? Right.
Although you did now just see some of the images for next week's tracks.
Yeah. Anyway,
got spoiled.
So I've got display capture on. Tyler can't see what's going on, but I'm going to look at the M1000 Classic. Let's see what Carl has to say. So Carl doesn't actually address it properly. Either way, supercooling chamber is a lie. It's a broken overclock, and it's
not
bad.
in a good way.
Yeah, in the worst way possible. I mean, just look at this shit, man. Massive focus damage bonus, but then it's like significantly less ammo, can't move or focusing, slow focus speed. It's just drudgery. It's just poverty. Sucks.
Just sucks.
Just suck.
I hate it.
I hate
sucks
it.
Balls.
It sucks balls. I hate it.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, my cat wants food.
Does it? Does it?
Yeah.
Stomp on
mainly
it.
because I forgot to feed it.
Stomp its lights out.
That might do it.
Turn it into mush.
I would have an easier time killing a person over killing my cat.
Would you have an easier time killing a random person over... No, killing a person over killing a random cat? What would you rather do?
A random person and a random cat,
yeah.
I'd rather kill the random person.
Really?
Yes, because when I look at a random cat, I'm like, ah. When I look at a random person, I'm like, ugh. And I'd rather go for the than the ah.
Okay,
like, sure, one's getting me like life in jail, but the other, I will have the image of killing a cute cat. Unless it's an ugly cat.
Yeah,
in all
if
fairness,
it's that cat, if it's that the orc one.
The disgusting cats that people have, where it's like the pug version of cats, but it's little cats, but somehow they manage to do a pug version where they just shove the face in itself,
what?
And it's just
fuck
ugly. Yeah, well, it's not like actually like a pug, but it's like, it's a variant of cats where it's like their snout and everything, it's all flat. It's just like pushed in. Like they don't actually have the snout.
Snout.
And they look fucking disgusting.
I love that word.
And
snout.
And it's the same for the naked cats, like the ones without fur. But I can forgive them, not that it's their fault. I think once again we just bred them so people with allergies can have cats. Their lives are now worse because they don't have any fur.
I don't know, man. I can't. The bald cats things. I don't want to touch them. They're like foreskin.
Yeah, well, I can also like you can kind of feel that like under your normal cat is that kind of cat. You just have the dignity of fur covering it.
Yeah, but the fur is a natural part of it, right? It's not like fake. It's not like, oh, my cat is actually a bald cat in disguise. No, my cat naturally has fur. It's like the bears. Like bears are really stupid without their fur on.
I need to go. He's eating old food.
What? Oh shit.
Well, yeah.
Stop him.
I'll be back.
Yeah, well, we won't be. See you next time.
Be back.
Forgive all of these stupid shit you're seeing. We're not editing these anymore.